Okay, welcome to week 4, everybody. I am in the course content module 4, looking at some of our readings. We're looking this week at nationalism and sport this week, so we've got a few readings here, and I hope everybody's keeping up with the comments. If you have any questions on that, and there was somebody previously who had a few questions, so it was good, but if you do have any questions, reach out to me and I'll help you out as best I can. So we've got the book report assignment this week. I'm not super fussed about the format of the book report. The biggest thing that I can emphasize to you is if you're going to suggest that the author is saying something, or if you're analyzing how the author is saying something, be sure to give lots of specific examples, okay? So if you're looking at this and you feel like your author is challenging some of the hegemonic norms of society, maybe using feminism or something like that, then go ahead and point out a few examples from throughout the book, and that'll be great. So that's what we're looking with that. But what I do have is a specific example, as promised, of the research paper guidelines. Okay, so I put that here, and I'm going to walk through that briefly here. Let's see, I just had it up. Let me grab this file really fast. All right. This is the document that I put in there, and what I wanted to make sure that I did was give some specific guidelines in each of these sections. And this is pretty standard research paper type formatting, so it shouldn't be a surprise to a lot of you. But if you are not quite familiar with this is basically how it goes. And I've kind of given you the length of each of these. So on page 2, actually at the end I say you could put an abstract here, but we'll get to that. You could put an abstract on page 2, but if you choose not to, that's fine for this paper. But so what we're looking for is an introduction at the beginning in one paragraph. Tell me about your subject and why it's important to study it. And then some of the literature. Now, the literature is a little bit of the history on your subject. So if your subject has had some papers written on it, that's why I said be very specific about your subject, real specific. So look up a few papers, publications, or studies. You could go to Google Scholar, which is an excellent place to look for previous research. And it actually has a really good search mechanism. In this section, and that's 1 to 2 paragraphs on just some previous literature. You don't have to give me 20 examples. 2 or 3 is fine of important ones that you feel are relevant to your study. The theory, then, we were talking about theories last couple of weeks. So if you select a theory in the Billings, Butterworth, and Terman book, go ahead and reference it from that book. Otherwise, if you're using another theory from another source, reference that as well. So explain what your theory is and why it can be useful in understanding your topic. And that's 1 to 2 paragraphs, okay? So make sure you put your research question at the end of this paragraph, okay? I really want to make sure that you have your research question there at the end of your theory paragraph. Now, your method and sample then are basically how you are going to answer your research question. So if you've got a question about your subject, I want you to be really specific. It needs to be media related, which I think almost every single one of you did when you sent me in your topics. So make sure that your method and sample are really specific in how you're going to study your subject. So if you're going to do a content analysis, textual analysis, survey, interviews, or some other method, go ahead and tell me here. And then your sample is what you're analyzing to answer your research questions. So let's say you're going to read 10 news stories for themes, or you're going to do a keyword search of 25 news stories, or you're going to try to survey 50 people or interview 3 to 5 people. Okay, so tell me exactly how you're going to answer your question. How is it portrayed in the media, or what do people think about how it's being portrayed in the media? And then you can do your sample tells me exactly how you're going to answer it. And then so that's 1 paragraph. And your next paragraph, tell me what happened when you tried to get your sample. Okay, so it's not always going to go perfect. And if you only found 5 articles and that's what you analyzed, that's fine. Just tell me exactly what. Or if you could only get 20 people to take your survey, great. All right. So after that section, you're going to tell me the results. All right. So just tell me the results. Don't give me any, here's what it means or anything like that. Just give me the results. So the emerging themes are followed by some specific examples that you got in the texts, or you found all of these words in the stories, or here's what people said in your survey. And if you did get a survey, try to give all the answers that you can, especially if you ask people to rate things, if you wanted numerical stuff, if you did percentages, list all the numbers. Okay, we want all the data we can. Every single bit of it. Just give me it all. All right. If every single meaningful quote, which is also, quotes are qualitative data, numbers are quantitative data. Give me everything that you possibly can, all of your results. All right. So if you interviewed people, what did they say? Summarize it first, then specific examples in the form of quotes. Okay. Take as much space as you need to list your results. And in the final section, it's the discussion and the conclusion. So in this section, you're going to tell me how your results answered your research question. Now, a note about this. It is possible that you didn't answer your research question. It's okay. This is why we do research, all right? You won't lose points if you didn't answer your research question as well as you would like. So whether you did or you didn't, let me know. And then compare what you found in your study to the 2 or 3 studies that you listed in your literature section, okay? Your study may or may not agree with previous research, and that's just the way it is. So how did it fit in with previous research? Did it agree? Did it not agree? Does it add to it? Let me know. And then give me 2 or 3 future studies that you would like to see but couldn't do in this one. Maybe the subject would be better analyzed with a different theory or method or sample, okay? So that's future studies. And then give me 1 summary paragraph of the entire study from beginning to end. And you could also use this as an abstract, which could be given on page 2, in which case your introduction would start on page 3, okay? So that's basically it. Oh, and then finally at the end, references. References should go on its own page using this reverse indent, double space, like this paragraph. And I list, I like this citation generator here. So I use that one. All right, so that's the example paper for the final paper. You should be gathering your data this week and next, and writing up you've got your book report. The book report's not super long, but your research paper is longer. It's worth more points. And it should be a really good example to you of media research in sports if you can fill in all of these particular sections. And if you can do that, you're well on your way to doing some actual real research. We're not doing this isn't something you're going to publish because, we're not going through the IRB, the internal review board. We're not getting your study signed off for human subjects or anything like that if you're doing interviews or whatever. But this is designed to give you an undergraduate, get your feet wet in communication and media research in the realm of sports. It's really cool. It's a really cool area. You've got some great research questions. And if you have questions, as always, please send me an email. I'll be happy to get back with you. And I hope you all had a great weekend and a great week this week. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.